Bow banger management fantasy hockey podcast. Woo! Woo!
I've waited way too long for this. Woo!
Oh my god. Guess who's back?
My god
Back
is
again.
right.
Jakey's
I'm back. I am back. Tell your friends. The third the much spoken about mysterious third host of Banger Management. If you just started listening in December, I've been around since the beginning, but I was AWOL.
We told you guys
for
he
the
was
past
real.
few weeks. I swear.
Everybody that did not believe us, finally we can prove them wrong.
Yeah.
We do have a third host.
This gives the Believe kid from Polar Express a whole new meaning, you know?
Yes, exactly. You can finally believe again in Santa and in Jake.
That's it. That's it. But yeah, there's a reason Josh is doing the jingle and not me. The karaoke career, unfortunately, did not work out. Very sad, but I'm back doing what I'm supposed to be. And it's podcasting with you guys, giving my super mainstream opinions all the time, pulling off trades that nobody gets upset about. And yeah, just having a great time with the community. So
I still can't believe you guys traded from different, like, 13. You were 13 hours ahead of him with extra information from the future, and you still decided to do this trade.
Jakey, like, we were texting like right before his bed, like if he was going to bed, right, in like Japan. For me, it's like morning, so we're texting, whatever. We make the trade, then I go about my day, and then like 10 hours later, I get a text from him being like, I just woke up. What the hell just happened? And I'm just like, it's the same day for me. This isn't a new day. Like, why are you texting me like just the evening after the trade?
yeah, it's a spicy one. We'll see. I hope it works for both sides. Just for those who don't know, I acquired Matthews and Zetterlund, gave Josh Celebrini and Holloway, and immediately Celebrini was like, "Ha! I took that personally," even though I've been taking it personally all year and been the best player of all time. So now you just got. Anyway, whatever. Let's see what happens. I'm excited to have Matthews though, even though.
I mean, I know which face I'm more happy to see on my screen.
Yeah. Okay, so today, it's been a while since I've done this. It's our Week 13 news and updates episode. You can follow us on all our socials, which is in the link in the podcast description. I'm a little rusty. Bear with me. The link to the Discord is there. That is the place to be. Follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts, and also YouTube. We are on YouTube as well, which I still love, and it's still exciting because I know that now I'm recording with you guys and we see everyone's facial expressions. No matter what the technological difficulties may be, it's still there.
No more technological difference.
Yeah, I think Kevin's figured out his difficulties, which is nice for me because there's been a few times over the past few weeks where it's just me on this screen.
Okay, that happened once, and it was for like 3 seconds. I think I popped back in before you even finished your sentence.
But there was a time
even before Jakey left, there was a time where both of you guys somehow had a whatever IT issue for like 5 seconds, and it was just me on here. I'm like, what do I do with my hands?
Everyone believed you
put it
real,
into the
Kevin.
universe. I hear your Wi-Fi dying, so
that's true. I am in the sketchiest spot for sure.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Just one more thing on that Discord. It has been popping off. It's what's kept me going while I was away. I didn't message much, but I've been reading all the comments in there, and it just gave me so much FOMO. So I've been lurking in the Discord. It's a great place to lurk and to contribute and to have all your questions answered. So please hop in there, join the community. It's super easy. It's just like 3 clicks or something like that. So
yeah. And I just want to say that we've had a couple people in the Discord finally be like, all right, guys, you guys mentioned it every episode. I finally bit the bullet and I'm here. And then they're like super happy that they're here and everything. So listen, if you're hesitant and you're like, oh, do I really want to put in the extra effort to do all this stuff? You just do extra effort one time and then you reap the rewards, you know?
And then the rewards are endless. And once we get to 300 members, Kevin will do another booty shake for everyone. So keep those joints
all
coming.
You guys that missed the second one. The 200.
And now he doesn't have IT issues, so the camera might not cut out right when he's doing his booty shake.
Yeah,
there's always hope.
there may be a small earthquake around the southeast Canadian region because what a badonk. Okay. All right.
And
Let's
on that
dive
note,
into our news and bits.
Talking about hurricanes that shake the nation to their core, massive trade right here. Yegor Chinakov was traded to Pittsburgh for Danton Heinen, a second and a third round pick. Obviously, sarcasm, that is not that crazy. But Chinakov is a guy who was drafted in the first round, late first round, just for Jakey, you know, because I know he cares about that stuff. He kind of had injury issues throughout his time in Columbus. The coach just hates him, so he was getting fourth line minutes, getting scratched left and right. He's been asking for a trade for, it feels like, 2 years now. Finally, he's getting traded to Pittsburgh. I mean, right now their power play unit is pretty solid, so I know Manta's like, he can easily get bumped, but also if they've been successful, why would they? So I don't expect him to jump onto power play one right away. But if he comes in, he's going to be top 6 for sure, even strength. I see him on second line right now. And if he jumps in and makes a big impact, I could see him climbing up there. Obviously, this is assuming Malkin's out. You know, once Malkin's back, there's no spots that are free. But in the meantime, it's an interesting ad for sure, because Pittsburgh seems to be trying to make moves to actually compete this year, even though they're kind of falling back down to earth.
This was a surprising trade to me. I feel like the amount of value they were able to get back, it felt surprising given that Chinakov was like literally playing the fourth liner and not playing, and they were able to get a second and a third for him. That feels honestly like a really good deal on the Columbus side. And for Pittsburgh, I mean, people ask me in the Discord like, does this bump up anybody on Columbus? And I was just like, it's literally impossible to bump up anybody on Columbus. This guy wasn't even on the ice half the time. So it's just like status quo there. For Pittsburgh, however, like you said, I feel like he's more like a watch list guy. Like, we know that Chinakov, when he gets minutes, he can be a high volume shooter, which is always nice. But it's just, I think it's going to be middle 6 and power play 2 most likely. And I don't know how productive that is for fantasy. I'm sure he'll have some weeks where he's like, has that exact deployment. He'll be like line 3, power play 2, and he'll have a week where he's scores 2 goals, gets an assist, and like has 5 shots, but I still wouldn't pick him up at that point if a deployment is like that.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those situations that you monitor the deployment. But if he ever gets top 6 minutes and somehow, some way gets power play 1, then obviously he's going to be of interest.
Yeah. And I just don't think it's impossible as long as Malkin is out, because Manta, I don't think, has a lock on that last spot.
Yeah, it's a good trade for both sides. And when he has played, he's been very productive for fantasy. He's not going to get on line 1. And I think that without the power play 1, he's not someone I'm super interested in. But IRL, this could be one of those like, oh, okay, an underappreciated first round pick that goes to a team where he has an opportunity. There could be a lot of fun things for Pittsburgh in real life. And like you said, it's just good for Columbus because they got back something for what they were treating as nothing.
Yeah.
I wonder if Pittsburgh is trying to go all in this year. Like, if this just means they're less likely to be like trading at the deadline to like for the future, you know? If this just means it's more likely they keep like the Erik Karlssons, the Rakels, the Crosbys, the everybody, you know?
Yeah, I think it'll still depend on how the next like month or so goes, because right now they're kind of in free fall and like kind of falling back down to earth where we expected them to be. So it'll really depend on where they are in the standings and if they feel they have a shot at it.
Yeah. Let's go to number 2.
All right. Sean Monahan is out with an undisclosed injury. Mason Marchment taking his spot on power play 1. This is kind of like Monahan's been dealing with an injury all season, it feels like. And for some reason, he just keeps playing through it, even though he's playing awful. I wish they would just shut him down for a few weeks so that he can get better and then come back and actually be a contributor. But for now, they're just going to keep, late scratching him when he doesn't feel it, and then playing through the injury. The more interesting thing, I think, is this Mason Marchment getting power play 1. We already recommended him as a streamer for this week with the chance of getting power play 1, and he kind of popped off when his start with Columbus. So I think he has a point in every game that he's played with Columbus so far. So I'm interested in grabbing him with this deployment.
Yeah, I think it really sucks for Monahan. I mean, I had him on one of my rosters that I play in a league with other fantasy analysts, and Monahan is one of my 2 centers. I have him and Hischier. And I think I was doing something because he took line rushes and everything. And then I come back and I see, like, I never got the Yahoo notification. And I'm like, oh, Monahan's out. I didn't have time to move him out of my lineup or anything. And it just goes to show, like, how late it was for him to decide, like, he's not able to play. So that kind of insinuates that, like, he can probably play through it if he really needs to. But I wouldn't be surprised if he misses a few games, and when he does miss a few games, it gives a huge bump up to Mason Marchment, who we've already highlighted. Like, when you got traded, we were like, okay, let's just watch list and see. He popped off right away. We were like, okay, like he's getting great deployment. If he's getting great deployment, he can produce. And now he's getting the best deployment possible, it feels like. So monitor Mason Marchment. If you can pick him up, I'm really interested in picking him up.
Same, for sure. I picked him up in a points league, but I think in a bangers league also. I mean, he's been known to have some nice hits games in the past.
He's got some banger
and Pims too, if your league counts those. Okay, Jared McCann returned from injury and bumped Eeli Tolvanen from power play 1. Tolvanen was actually the second star of the week last week, and people have been asking a lot about him because he's always been a good banger, but he was getting good deployment, putting up points. This is kind of what I was saying with Tolvanen when people were asking about him and saying like this could be a huge pickup, and I was like, his spot in the lineup is just not secured at all. I also don't trust Seattle's offense to produce anything consistently, so this isn't surprising. I'm not immediately dropping Tolvanen or anything like that, but I think his usefulness may run dry over the next week or two with McCann back.
Yeah, I remember playing like NHL, what was it, like 16 or 18, and like, you know, went on Be a Pro, like you're 5-6 seasons in, and then like they have like those random guys at the time who end up being superstars. So Tolvanen was always a beast. That's how I first knew about him. And in real life, like I keep waiting for him to have that breakout a la NHL 18 Be a Pro, and it's just been so disappointing. He has these like crazy stretches and then falls off the face of the earth. Obviously the minutes are encouraging, but I've seen this like 2-3 times in the past 2 years, so I'm not like overhyped about this. It could be cool to ride a while it's hot and maybe even flip if you can, because these are crazy banger numbers. But at the end of the day, like I don't have any real optimism for him towards from now till the end of the season of being some elite banger guy that's reliable.
Yeah, he's just the type of guy that you stream while he's hot, while he gets the good deployment, and then as soon as the deployment runs out, you cut him loose and you move on to the next guy. So
yeah,
I think we're at the point where you're moving on, going to the next guy.
Anyone who remembers, I think it was 2 or 3 years ago, Tolvanen was a 0% owned guy who nobody knew who he was. And I picked him up in our league.
Because of NHL 18. Sorry.
Except for Cheek because of NHL 18. But I picked him up in our league because I saw he was putting up some solid bangs. And this is right when he got picked up, I think it was like 2-3 years ago, like after he left Nashville. Mm-hmm. And the entire chat was just like, every time he just like keep putting up like solid stat lines, and the 5 people in the chat would just comment interesting. And it was just like, it kind of blew up to the point where like to this day, if you go into like the Tolvanen chat, anytime he has like a solid game, people will be like interesting. It just like people don't remember that originated like years ago when it was like an empty chat, a 0% rostered guy, and it was just the meme of Tolvanen. It was interesting every time he put up a good game. So shout out if anyone remembers that. That was a good time.
The Yahoo chats are crazy. Like the things that you will see in there, I think they had to add a lot of moderators, but
they did. I don't know why I go in there, but sometimes the memes are worth it.
We go there for confirmation bias, and I think we get the opposite every time.
That's exactly it. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like the Yahoo chats definitely played a part in me trading away Matthews, because every time Matthews would put up a bad game, I'd go in the chat and I would be like, "He's the worst player in the whole world. Like, why am I holding him?"
Drafting him,
exactly.
blah blah blah.
And I'm like, "Oh my god, I gotta get this guy off my team." So yeah, they definitely.
Jakey, I got a trade for you.
Yeah, they definitely they amplify everything that you're feeling. If your guy's doing well, it feels great. If your guy's not, then it feels terrible. So anyways, let's move on to the next one. Shane Pinto returned from injury and slotted into line 3 power play 2. This is he was really good to start the year. He was out for a while. Obviously came back the week I'm playing him. But but with this deployment, I'm not really interested, honestly. I think that he had his most value right before he got injured, because for some reason the coach put him on power play 1. And then I remember mentioning it when he got injured that the coach got saved from himself because he had to put back the proper guys on power play 1. And look at that. The power play 1 immediately starts popping off for the past couple of weeks while Pinto's out. So he's not going to get power play 1 back unless the coach is really dumb, which I won't bet against, but I still think it's unlikely.
This is a tough one because Pinto, we know himself, like he's a good player.
Yeah.
And he's shown it in the past. And even with this kind of deployment, he's shown that he has value in fantasy. It's just his ceiling is super capped if he's playing line 3 power play 2. Like, I think he's the guy with line 3 power play 2 that plays the most minutes in the NHL, it feels like. Because if you look at his game long, he still plays like 18 minutes a night, 19 minutes a night sometimes. And you're like, how the hell is he getting these minutes? But we got a lot of questions in the Discord recently where like, Pinto's coming back. Who do I cut to activate him? And then the options to cut him are like, people have, you know, like Zuccarello or Josh Norris. And I'm just like, I think your worst guy is Pinto. Like, I know you've been stashing him on IR this whole time, but there's nobody on your roster that I'd rather cut to activate Pinto. It's all guys that have like line 1, power play 1 deployment, line 2, power play 1 deployment. And if anybody's on power play 1, I'm not cutting them for Pinto. So,
agreed.
Yeah, same. But he's still decently productive in a face-off league, right? It's just about who you have to cut for him.
yeah,
He's
it's
In a deep
rosterable.
enough like if you're in a deep enough league where guys who are not power play 1 and not pure bangers are rostered, then I like Pinto in that category of guy. But I'm always going to take a power play 1 or a pure banger over him.
Yeah.
I'd rather Marchman over him. And
Yeah.
we got a couple questions like that. Like, I just picked up Marchman. Do I cut him for Pinto? I'm keeping Marchman.
Yeah, that's a good one.
All right. I mean, there's a reason why he was a sell high early on in the season. So, again, hopefully people listened when we told them. On to the same news of Ottawa Senators. Linus Ullmark, big squishy Linus, is taking a leave of absence from the team. Levi Merlainen will be the starter in his absence. Kevin dropped $7 fab on Levi Merlainen, and he rewarded him with a terrible game. So,
yes.
Let's, first of all, with Ullmark, I mean, this is taking Squishy to a whole new level, right? The guy's like, damn, I'm healthy, but I need to find a way to miss some games. So, no, actually, though, like, hope all is well with him. You never know with these leave of absences, so you don't want to joke around too much. But yeah, these types of things are so open-ended on when the guy could return, right? Like, I was telling everyone to buy Timo Meier when he was on his leave of absence because we learned our lesson from the Rasmus Dahlin leave of absence. So so far I haven't seen a leave of absence last longer than 2-3 weeks this year. Yeah. So that's kind of what I would count it as for now. And you'll have to wait and see. The tough thing with Ullmark is, when I last checked, he's still marked NA on Yahoo, and that means he cannot be stashed on IR Plus until they change it. So then the question is he droppable with this whole open-ended timeline? What do you guys think?
It's so tough. So in one league, I actually have my 2 goalies are Linus Ullmark and Carter Hart, and I'm not able to put Linus Ullmark on IR Plus. So what I did was what I currently did was I cut, like, I had a 5th defenseman I cut, and I picked up Merlainen. So like last night I started Merlainen and Carter Hart, which was, I think combined together they let in 10 goals, and I had like a 760 save percentage or something. So that was amazing. Most of that was on Carter Hart, which is sad. But I'm literally living the situation right now, and I have to decide if, like, I'm just cutting Ullmark and how valuable is that spot to me for my roster in the near future. I have to wait it out to see if they're going to change it to, like, give him out designation so I can put him on IR Plus. But if that's not likely, I'll have some tough decisions to make. I don't want to drop him though.
Yeah.
Unless we find out, like, why his leave of absence is happening. Like, if it's like a mental health issue, or if it's like something in the family that he has to like be there, where, like Dahlin, where he was like attending to his wife who's having surgery, and then we know, like, okay, like when she's in the recovery process, maybe he'll come back. I'm more likely to hold. But if it's really like indefinite, we have no news, no nothing, I'm probably gonna be leaning towards like a cut if I'm not near the top of the table type of thing.
Yeah. That's
so do you have like a date of if there's no news you cut?
No, there's no date. I'm just following the news on a daily basis and following my team. Like, if my team is doing well, it buys me more time to hold him. And then if my team is really struggling, then I'm going to be like, all right, I really need this spot. I'm going to be more likely to cut at that point.
Yeah, I know he's had a pretty rocky year, but does this make him like a buy in your minds?
No,
I think as long as he has,
stash him, I'm not buying.
That's it. As long as he has the NA tag, like, you're not going to buy a guy who could indefinitely be out and take up a roster spot. If he gets that IR Plus stash, then I'm interested in buying, because I still think that he should have a solid rest of the season when he gets back. And I think these leave of absences are always shorter than they seem. And then
it also depends who you can pick up too. Like, if there's guys like, I don't want to tout my own horn because he's on my roster, but like Jet Greaves, if he's on your waivers, and I can just cut Ullmark to get Jet Greaves, like, I may do that. But if the best option is like Samuel Montembeault is like now back in the NHL, I'm gonna see if I can hold.
Yeah, that's what I was. That's actually I was gonna say. Would you send Ullmark for Dobesh?
No, I don't want Dobesh.
Yeah, okay. No, he's not even the backup right now.
Yeah, okay. So you're keeping the upside basically if it's like guys in that territory.
Would you cut him for the Bussi?
Yeah, I would. With the Kochetkov injury, yeah.
1,000%.
Yeah.
Yeah,
more,
Jakey's
more
laughing.
on that
He's
temporarily.
yeah, more on that soon. Yeah, and then more a bit on the Levi Merlainen side. What are your expectations for him? I mean, Kevin clearly is a big fan because he dropped $7 on him. But,
yeah, I definitely could have put like $5 or $4, and I would have been happy. So I'm not gonna be too down on myself for those extra $3-4 I spent. But yeah, I think the thing is, I was not in on Comrie when he got dropped. Not because I wouldn't have taken him on my team if I really needed a goalie. More so that Winnipeg was not doing the hottest, let's say. I think Ottawa was on a roll right now, so I wanted to be involved because I think my team could have used a third goalie. Like, I've been really going through it with the goalie stats. It feels like every week I'm losing all 5 goalie stats recently, so I would like a third goalie there. And then the leave of absence too. Like, there's always upside with Merlainen being like, if he's a starter for the rest of the season and I just picked up him off waivers, then there's upside there, right? Like with Hellebuck, we knew it was going to be like 4 to 5 weeks. It could be the rest of the season. So first of all, there's always upside and value there. Now, what is the quality going to be like? Do we believe in Merlainen to be like an exceptional goalie? I don't think so. He's like been really awful this year if you look at the numbers. But that doesn't mean that with this new opportunity, he won't be able to produce with an Ottawa team that's playing better than they were in the beginning of the season. So I'm interested, but I'm tempering my expectations knowing that like the percentages may not be there, but I'm hoping that with more game time, he eases into the role a little bit more. But I don't think he's a must pick up. I don't think you need to break the bank to get him on your roster. And yeah, I mean the first game was definitely not great. So
yeah, and they were playing a powerhouse like Columbus. So
Columbus is a good team. I've been saying they were a good team all year, and they were just waiting. They were in a slump. But now look at Marchenko. He's a beast, and they got Mason Marchment and Voronkov, and
yeah. No, I mean, I kind of view him in like a slightly better Eric Comrie or Anton Forsberg situation where, you know, the leave of absence could be a pro and a con, right? It's a pro because like the indefinite means it could be all season. That's what you're hoping for if you're picking up Merlainen, or it can be 2 weeks, in which case you're like, okay, like maybe it's just a stopgap. I think Ottawa can win games. I don't think they're going to win low scoring games. So I don't think the percentages are going to be good, like you said. But right now he has no competition for those starts. So if your team is a goalie needy team, I would take a shot at him. But if you're sitting comfortable with like 2-3 guys that you're happy with, I'm not going to rush to pick him up, hoping that, you know, he outdoes one of your current guys.
Yep, I concur.
Okay. Shane Gostisbehere is out with a groin injury. Alexander Nikishin taking his spot on power play 1. This is literally Jakey's worst nightmare.
I don't know what kind of like voodoo rituals you keep pulling to like make this happen. This is like ridiculous.
This is just like a version descent.
I was gonna say, for those who don't know, Nikishin was on Jakey's roster like the whole year, and then I think he got scratched one game, and then Jakey cut him after that, and then he got brought back, and then Jakey traded for Gostisbehere. So now Gostisbehere is hurt. Nikishin took his spot, and Jakey does not have Nikishin on his roster anymore. So
yeah,
and Jakey was a firm Nikishin believer.
Yeah, the only saving grace is the maybe sort of I told you so if Nikishin keeps this and does well. Like,
I mean, it's only going to keep it until Gostisbehere is back.
That's it, yeah. So, I mean, I will say that whenever I was saying Nikishin's never getting power play 1, it was assuming Gostisbehere is healthy. I did think that if Gostisbehere got injured, there was a shot at it. But even then, like Gostisbehere did get injured, and they gave it to Sean Walker for a bit. So it's interesting to see that at this point in the season, they're giving Nikishin the shot at it. But yeah, no, this sucks for Gostisbehere, but they haven't said it's anything. It could just be one game, you know? Like they haven't yet said if it's anything longer term or anything like that. So I wouldn't overreact to this just yet. It just sucks because it's a 5-game week for Carolina.
I was going to say it's a 5-game week for Carolina. And I mean, as you're listening to this, they've already played 2 of them. So, and Nikishin got a power play apple. So first game with the opportunity, and he delivers on it. They win a close game against the Rangers. So I'm definitely interested. Like if he's on my waivers, I'm absolutely 100% picking him up.
Yeah. So this episode is going to be released on the 31st. At that point, he may actually play on the 30th because he was a game time decision, Gostisbehere, on the 29th. So like it was close enough. I mean, if it's serious, it's usually not a game time decision. When he's there, he's the guy. At this point, there's no question about it. He's been really good. But the next man up should always be Nikishin. Like, there's no reason to give it to Sean Walker, who's like a really solid defensive defenseman, or Keandre Miller just because he gave him the money. Like, stop. Like, Nikishin actually has potential. Like, yeah, but Nikishin's got potential to be a really solid NHL defenseman. So you got to like build that up. But I still think because of their win now nature, Gostisbehere is a lock when healthy. So
yeah,
I'm
for sure.
not too hot and bothered yet, but it was definitely
no trade
really,
fornication.
yeah.
Exactly. Okay. Vejmelka of the Utah was placed on IR with an upper body injury. Vitek Vanacek will be the starter while he's out. This is a type of thing where Vejmelka is eligible to come back almost a day after this episode's released. So the IR, don't get scared by that. The coach said it's not a longer term thing, but if you need a spot start in the meantime, you could pick up Vanacek.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and this was kind of like a surprise too. Like when he got put on IR, it was like the game was about to start, and they were like, actually, he's not starting, and we're putting him on IR. So everybody was like, "What the bleep bleep?" And exactly in those words.
Yeah.
So it was definitely surprising, but I'm not dropping Vejmelka, especially now that you can put him on IR. You just stash him there. But we had some people ask like, "Do I drop Vejmelka for Bussi or whatever?" And I'm like, there's a world where Bussi is better, but I'm not dropping Vejmelka for Bussi, if that makes sense.
All right, we keep mentioning him. Let's just get to this next one. Pyotr Kochetkov
wait, before you go on,
yeah,
I'm so curious about the second bleep. I get so thinking about it. Maybe my knowledge.
It was just the same the first word, but the second time too. It was like bleep, 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 you know?
I was like, maybe my knowledge of sophisticated linguistics is limited. But yeah, I guess the bleep is just the second one's for emphasis.
Yeah, it's what the bleep period and then bleep all caps with an exclamation mark.
There you go. Okay.
Our favorite curse word, bleep.
Yeah. Okay. Pyotr Kochetkov is out for the season after getting surgery for a nagging issue. Brandon Bussi, you are the new starter for the Carolina Hurricanes. I mean, is there any other podcast or source that was touting the Bussi as hard as we were from such an early stage in him entering the NHL this year? I think we've been talking about this guy every episode since he, came in a few weeks ago.
Since he played his first game.
Yeah, Jakey picked him up in our league and has held him on this whole time. Like, this is just crazy because the one downside with this whole Carolina situation was the 3 goalies. And then they kind of phased out Anderson completely because he's been awful. And now Kochekhov's out for the season. This is just, and Bussi's been insane. So this is kind of a nuts pickup. If you're 0G and Bussi's somehow not already owned in your league, you rush to pick him up. But last I checked, he was at like 56%. So there's still some leagues where you have a shot.
Yeah, this is a big deal, like a really big deal. He has won basically every game he's played this season. Like in December, he's lost 1 game.
He's the best goalie in the world.
That game, he got 38 saves on 41 shots. So he's been easily their best goalie all season, and this is a team that shouldn't try to win the Stanley Cup. So I don't think there's any world in which he should be owned in under 80% of leagues by a week from now. So
do you think that Carolina makes a trade for another goalie? Or do you think they're just going to ride that Bussi?
I think it's possible, honestly. I mean, if the Bussi can handle the workload, then they might just roll with it. But I think they think they're in a risky situation because Kochetkov is out, Anderson is not reliable to even be like in the lineup, and Bussi is still young and he's proven that he can be a good goalie in the NHL this season. But are they putting their Stanley Cup hopes on Bussi riding that until the end? I don't know.
I will say my take on this is I think Bussi is an insane sell high. I think that at some point Carolina is going to make some sort of move. Even if they make a move for a more reliable, they seem to like a tandem, So I think Anderson's out of the picture. Right now it's just Bussi. So if they make a move for even a backup guy who's going to get a third, to half of the starts or 45%, that'll bring down Bussi's value. Right now, Bussi's the undisputed number 1. He's been insane, like Jakey mentioned. This, to me, is the clearest sell high. Jakey, you should flip him for a goalie that, you could count on for sure rest of the season. Who are some targets? I don't know. Vejmelka's been pretty bad, honestly. but who are some targets you guys would sell high for with Bussi?
I mean, this is a crazy one, and I don't want to start doing a would you rather before the would you rather segment. But would you trade Bussi for Lucas Dostal, who's been awful, that people are ready to cut right now?
That's really tough because Dostal's been so bad. First of all, even if you do this, you should get Dostal massive plus. So that for sure would never be a 1-for-1. I don't know. It's hard to buy Dostal right now. I've been thinking about it. I'm like, okay, like his value cannot ever get lower. But I'm like, is it going to get higher because he's been so bad in the last 2 games he played? He got pulled. He let in like 4 goals on like 8 shots in both games.
Anaheim is spiraling right now in general.
Honestly, I think I'm keeping Bussi out of over Dostal.
Okay. Do you think you can trade him for like Joseph Wall?
I think you could do that.
Would you do that?
Yeah,
it's
not
like a fancy name either, right? It doesn't feel like you're moving up a tier. It just feels like you're staying in a similar tier, but you're getting better performances right now.
I would keep Bussi.
You also have Bussi on your roster, Jakey.
Yeah, but that's a tough one. It's not like Toronto's like the Toronto of old, right? They're not very good this year. So
yeah,
I mean, who else are you trading for? Like maybe you can get Kemper right now since he's still banged up.
I mean, I think that would be a huge fleece.
That'd be a no-brainer to me. But
that I would do. Yeah, that's like a huge tier between Kemper and Wall, though, right there.
I think that's a tough thing. We need to find that middle ground of like a guy I'd rather have over Bussi, but he is actually attainable. And I'm trying to think of who a guy like that would be.
Yeah,
like Bob.
Yeah, I mean Bob's my favorite buy low target anytime he has a bad game. So I feel like I would definitely take Bob over.
Bob's percentages have been awful, but he's won 70% of his games recently. So it's like Florida's he's still winning every game.
Yeah.
They got to go.
What about one of the Carolina Woods?
What? Colorado Woods
or Wedge? Yeah, sorry.
I don't think you can get either of them.
I think maybe you can get Wedgwood. Yeah. I think I would take that for sure.
I don't know. I mean, it's tough.
Maybe you can get Logan Thompson.
Oh yeah, Thompson's been really bad. That's a really good one, actually.
Yeah. That I would do. Of all the names you said, that's probably my favorite.
Let's stop at that,
the thing is, though, we're going in like a kind of far-fetched thinking here because like the status quo right now is he is the guy on an amazing NHL team.
You have to sell him as that value, otherwise it's no point.
Yeah, and he's been performing very well. So like I'd do it for a Hellebuck who's also been god awful, and obviously you're giving Bussi plus, but like
I think
that's
if you do
like
Bussi plus, like in some leagues, Hellebuck's been really, really bad. Winnipeg, surprisingly enough, last place in the NHL, tied with Chicago.
Yeah, that's horrible.
Jakey's never wrong just early. Jakey had them 5th in the division, I think. Was that? Yeah. So
that's it.
That's crazy.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, but he also had St. Louis in second, so we'll let's wait and see what happens before we.
Jakey just makes the craziest swings, and like half of them hit. He's just like, I'm a genius, and then half of them don't hit, and you're just like, well, how could you even have predicted this?
Okay, let's move on. But I do like selling high on Bussi, but again, don't undersell him.
But yeah, just like please pick him up though. Like that's the first thing. He's rostered way too low right now, and if they do make a trade, it's like probably not for like another month. And if he has like a month as like the starter on Carolina, then like even if he's been doing a little less well than he has been so far this season, you'll be able to sell him for higher than you can now. So my personal take on it is he's not a buy, he's an add, and then he's like a hold, and then you could probably sell him at a higher value sooner than later.
You just want to make sure that you sell before they make a trade for another goalie. And that's hard to like time when they're going to do that.
It's still like a bit of a stretch that to me. Like I totally hear you, like, and I think that's possible, but it's just like
I just think there's no way they're going to like I think they like Bussi and they're happy having him as their starter. I don't think there's any way they want to be one injury away from having Freddie Anderson be their starting goalie. That's where I think they need like if Bussi gets injured, Anderson's their only guy right now, and Anderson is just terrible. So I think they're gonna if they trade, they can trade for someone who like worst case scenario, they need a backup essentially.
They're gonna get a Buffalo goalie. It'll be like UPL or Alex Lyon, or they're gonna get like a Elvis Merzlikins, and those are gonna be the guys that are gonna be the run the tandem for them. I think that's feels like the most likely situation if they do go the goalie route. Like Buffalo is doing everything they can to like ship a goalie out.
Yeah. So. No, I think those are some great names, and so like those aren't necessarily going to challenge. Like if Bussi keeps playing how he's playing, he's got that number one spot. It's just right now there's literally no competition. Whereas if they acquire one of these guys, then first of all there's
I'd
question
be worried
marks,
about
like,
UPL.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. Like first of all, like these guys are like competition if Bussi starts playing poorly, and there's question marks like why are they acquiring a goalie? Do they not trust him? Whatever. All that to say, like I think that you do want to sell high on him, but you don't have to do it immediately. You can wait a week or two while he gets like all the starts, keeps putting up wins, and then you try and sell him for like a really solid guy in return.
Yep.
Okay. Erik Karlsson is out with an illness. Chris Letang will take power play 1 if he's out. Hasn't even missed a game yet, so this may be nothing. It's an illness, so I wouldn't put too much stock in this, but Chris Letang is the next man up. But I think we don't have to spend too much time on that because
Chris Letang already has he's like one of the most valuable PP2 defensemen I think in the league in terms of like how many points he's able to dish out. Like it feels like I'm always looking at waivers, and in our league waivers are very, very dry, let's say, because of how deep it is. All the guys that are valuable are rostered. And for a long time, I mean, Letang just got picked up a few days ago.
Yeah.
But while he was available, he was always the defenseman that had the highest points threshold, and he's not on PP1.
Yeah.
So if he ends up getting that spot, like I'm very interested in Letang, even though his banger categories are not always there. Like I feel like he's a 1.5 across the board and feels like shots, hits, and blocks. So he's not elite in any of those categories, but he's still putting up points like 0.5, 0.6, which for defensemen on waivers in a deep league, like that's pretty good. But yeah, monitor with Erik Karlsson. It's just a sickness. I'm not going to miss many games.
Okay, Bo Horvat returned from injury and returned to line 1, power play 1. Return of the Horvat. Everyone's excited. He's the best.
Return of the Horvat.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I just said his name.
Yeah. So again, this one, like, it bumps Barzal down, but also makes Barzal better because he gets to play with Horvat on the power play, and likes to switch it up sometimes and have Barzal on his wing. So I think it just makes everyone on the team better. I don't even know. I wasn't sure who to put as him bumping off power play 1 because they were alternating so many different guys. So I don't think anyone really relevant got bumped off power play 1.
And a little other Islanders tidbit news. Like I don't know if we touched on Sorokin, but he was kind of missing some time, and we saw Dave Riddick play the back-to-back on the Saturday-Sunday. He played both games. He got a shutout on Sunday. He was playing really well until like the end of the game. He kind of collapsed, but I think it was just kind of like monitor the Sorokin situation, and I don't think he's missing much more time. So like as you're listening to this, he might already be back at practice and being ready to suit up for the next game. But it just goes to show that like I think Riddick is kind of cementing himself as like a viable backup option. So in the future, when there are back-to-backs and like we know he's getting one of the starts, I think in my head I'm putting more stock into like the quality of his performance that he's able to put out there.
Yeah, I could see him showing up on our streamer episodes a lot over the rest of the season. Anytime we need a quality start for a back-to-back.
Yeah, he's been reliable for that. Like he's much better than a lot of other the backup goalies. Like you just put him in, and he's Josh's enemy, but Josh's enemy.
He won so many people their matchups last week because you picked them up for like the Saturday Sunday. You were like, okay, I'm gonna get one start here. You end up getting both. You get a shutout, and you get another high save game. You're like, this was like pickup of the season. This is like reminds me of when people picked up like Charlie Lindgren in week 3 on the Sunday stream,
like
and then he got
40 save shutout.
Yeah. Against me, and I'm just like, all right, I love Charlie Lindgren 40 save shutout on a Sunday. So
yeah. Okay, Jordan Kyrou returned from injury, was put on line 2, power play 1, and then only played 4 shifts in the third period. Monty really does not seem to like him. He said at the end of the game, he's like, he was asked about why he was like short shifted, and he's like, when he's playing his game and he's like fighting for pucks and all this stuff, he's a great player. And he's like, but he just hasn't been doing that. Like, I don't think there's a bigger name out there that's a clear trade bait than Jordan Kyrou right now. I feel like if either of you guys want to make a beer bet that he doesn't end up the year on St. Louis, I'm pretty confident he's getting traded. So if any of you think he's staying, I'm willing to take a beer bet on that.
I think he's getting traded to like New Jersey or the Habs.
Okay, so we all think we're all pretty sure he's getting traded then. So what do you guys think in terms of like holding on to him right now? Because he's been awful, right? Like all season. Then he was injured. Probably people were pretty happy to just be able to stash him on IR and not have that dead roster spot for a bit. And now he's back and getting short shifted again. Do you like hold and wait out for that potential trade? Do you drop? Like what do you do with him?
I'm willing to cut. I think this is a hard decision you have to make. And earlier in the season, I remember like for like the first week 1 to week 8, people were asking me like for permission to cut Jordan Kyrou, and I wasn't really giving it to them. I was just like, it's still too it's still too early. He has the deployment. Like we've seen this before where, we were still in the mix of like, are the Blues going to be like good or like bounce back? Now the sample size is big enough that I think the Blues are going to struggle throughout the year. I won't be surprised if they have like a month or 2 where they are playing like up to their level like we saw last year and all their guys become way more valuable. But at this point, like with also the trade ramifications that are potentially there for Jordan Kyrou, like if you have a Mason Marchment on waivers, like I'm cutting him for Mason Marchment. And I'm just moving on like that. I know it feels crazy, but at a certain point, you got to make decisions that are better for your fantasy team. And that's the type of move that I'm willing to do.
Yeah. Just so someone in our league who's on waivers would like that you'd rather over him, like Connor Garland.
Our league, I mean, our league is
our
crazy.
league is very deep. That's what I'm saying. Like for like a very deep league, would you rather Connor Garland?
It's close, but for that level of player, like Connor Garland is like line 3, power play 1. I think I'd just hold Kyrou at that point.
Yeah.
But for all these other exciting guys that we've mentioned, like if there's like a Ryan O'Reilly or a Josh Norris or,
yeah,
you know, the guys that we talk about on the waiver show that are like, you know, 20 to 30% owned, I'm cutting Kyrou for those guys. Like Marchman, I'm for sure cutting for him.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, Elias Pettersson, the forward, returned from injury and took back his spot on line 1, power play 1. I mean, Pettersson this year, a lot of people were hoping for a bounce back. Hasn't looked like it's happening, but he is still pretty sick for back cats. He'll get you over a shot. He'll get you face-off wins from the wing. He'll get you over a hit, over a block from a forward. That kind of category coverage is really nice. It's just that's not what you were looking for when you drafted Pettersson. You were looking for the points. So do you guys think there's any hope for a bounce back between now and the end of the season? Or you think the fact they just sold off Quinn Hughes and he just doesn't really have anyone to play with and he hasn't been good himself, you think he's just kind of cooked for the year points-wise?
Points-wise, I think...
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
No,
go ahead.
It's just that at the end of the day with this is that you have a new team that's not really going to be trying for much other than to like, you know, get the most out of the young players. I think given the fact that they had JT Miller, Pettersson, and Quinn Hughes, and the one like who's still on their team out of all that is Pettersson, means that they want to do everything they can to like, you know, like support him and make sure that he's there for the long haul. That being said, I don't really expect them to be a super high scoring team. I would imagine they're going to want to get Booyam going at some point, even though like I have him, don't love him, probably going to drop him. But it's just like that's like the type of thing they're a rebuilding team that's going to want to get the most out of their young guys. They're young guys, and Pettersson to me is definitely not someone I want on my team so badly. I think that the points are going to stay around 0.75 to 0.8 the rest of the season.
Yeah, to me, I think it's like a 0.8, 0.85. Yeah. But his bangers are not there. Like, it's just, he's really good at blocks. It feels like he's better at blocks than he is at hits and shots, which feels counterintuitive. Obviously, great for face-offs from the left wing position. But I think I'm trying to move off of a lot of these Vancouver assets. Like, in a lot of leagues, Jake DeBrusk just got scratched. And he's been like one of their quote unquote better forwards. Like he went on a streak where he had like 8 power play goals in a row type of thing. You know what I mean? So the fact that he's getting scratched on a Monday, is that because like they're gonna maybe trade him? Like I don't even know if that's even in the cards.
I don't think they can trade him with that contract.
Yeah, so it's just like, why are you scratching a guy that you just paid a bunch of money and that like, you know, maybe the stat sheet is better than what's actually on the ice? But right now, I feel like they need help. And do they have better guys than Jake DeBrusk to put in their lineup? I don't know.
No, honestly, like I agree. I'm trying to not have any Vancouver guys on my team. The only one I have on my team right now is Evander Kane, and it's just because I need the penalty minutes, and he's like pretty consistent at that. But really, I mean, our league is super deep, and we have, I think, 2, soon to be 3/5 when Shaky drops Booyam of their power play 1 on waivers, and I'm just not interested. So it just shows kind of like the state that team is in.
I held on to Brock Besser like for way too long. It was like he was always good. It was like he was averaging 2.5 shots and getting like 0.75 points per game and 0.25 power play points. I'm just like, this is definitely worth rostering in a league that's deep as ours, where like this production is not on waivers. And then he kept getting worse and worse and worse and worse. I'm just like, at some point he's gonna bounce back, right? Like when you're playing 20 minutes a night, I for sure. I mean, I kept putting stock into him because I'm like, he's playing 20 minutes a night and he has this deployment. It's like it's just the quality of the team is bad. But at a certain point, you can't be bad like that forever, unless I guess you're Vancouver. So I mean, he was on waivers. Somebody else picked him up, and then somebody else just cut him. So like DeBrusk is on waivers, Besser's on waivers, Connor Garland's on waivers, and I feel like those are the 3 main wingers for Vancouver. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't like this team rest of the season. It's kind of like what the Habs were 2 years ago. It's like, oh, they'll try to get Caulfield going to build confidence for him being on their team in 2 years from now.
But at least we have good players. Like I feel like they've got nothing.
Yeah, no, it's bad. It's bad.
Okay, last bit of news. Willie Stiles, William Nylander is day-to-day with a lower body injury. Matthias Michelli taking his spot on power play 1. Since they fired the power play coach, they actually have like 2-3 power play points in the last few games. So maybe the turnaround for all those Toronto assets is finally here.
New
But
coach
William
bum.
Nylander is being out is not going to help anyone.
Yeah.
And whenever Nylander is out, I'm always like, because I know his history with the coach and the differences they have, and how he's missed games in the past for like illness, and the coach has like kind of like poo-pooed on him, being like, I guess he's sick and he can't play or whatever, being like, and then he's just like, yeah, just woke up, didn't feel good, couldn't play or whatever. So the attitude just kind of like is irking me a little bit. I feel there's always more to the injuries with Nylander, this situation right now. So they're listing him as lower body injury. Does that mean like he's actually not good enough to play? I don't know. Like, I don't want to read into it too much, but like in the back of my mind, I'm just like, this could be worse than I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. I, as someone who just bought Matthews, am hoping for somewhat of a turnaround. And like, if you look at the Atlantic Division, their standings, the Leafs are still like, they're last in the Atlantic and they're still a winning team. So the Atlantic is like really, really, all the teams have been pretty good. The difference between Detroit in first place and the Leafs in last place are 9 points, and the Leafs have 2 less games. Now, I don't believe in them. I made that clear about the beginning of the year. I think they're going to be like a fringe to outside of playoff team, but like they're still going to try. And they're not like Vancouver, who's just like, oh, like let's get the young guys going. Like they're still going to be a team that has offensive output. That being said, the center around this team is just build on Matthews. Like you have to get Matthews going. That's what
I have some breaking news.
Yes.
On this topic for Toronto.
Okay.
Elliot Friedman just tweeted.
Oh God.
Several of the AHL Marlies were told not to travel to Cleveland for their game today, meaning that the Toronto Maple Leafs will have to use them. So they're saying they don't know what the lineup is going to look like because they have some new injuries that have yet to be announced. But it looks like Brandon Tanev, Chris Tanev, is going to be injured and might miss a lot of time due to a new injury because he's been banged up the whole year. And they're also saying Matthews, will see it's related to a block shot that he took Sunday.
I'm out. All right.
No confirmation or anything. So, like, listen, by the time you're listening to this episode, you'll have views on what happened to Matthews, if anything even did happen. But this was a tweet that literally just came out as we're recording this. So
that's crazy. Congrats, Josh. Another W.
Hey, I mean, Celebrini he took a shot to the face last night and missed a few shifts. So,
Yeah, missed a few shifts.
Then he came back and put up 3 points.
Oh my God! Wow. Actually,
I'll buy low on Matthews from you.
This is horse bleep. Honestly.
Okay, we don't even know if he's missing a game. Kevin's just riling you up on the episode.
It literally just happens. I thought we're talking about the Toronto Maple Leafs and Nylander, so I was like, okay, it's relevant.
Okay, let's go into the would you rather's before Jakey loses his mind.
Craziness. Why do I do this? Not the podcast. Podcast is great. Why do I do fantasy?
I mean, listen, we knew Matthews is squishy. We knew he had injury things, and we know he blocked a lot of shots.
God. Disaster.
Okay, the risk is always there, but alas, let's hope it's nothing serious and everybody that has Matthews on their fantasy team can sleep soundly at night, but I don't know if that's in the near future. So, okay, let's get into the Would You Rather segment, the segment that everybody's been waiting for.
Happy. This is such a disaster. Okay.
So I'm not happy about like for you. I don't want that for your team, but I am a certified Matthews hater. So.
Oh.
You're a Matthews lover, Josh. I feel like every time you've won the league, you've had Matthews on your roster.
Yeah, but after
that's
this
why
year,
I did this
Matthews
trade.
hater.
That was the only way to stop you, or so I thought.
Well, he was on my team at some point in the year, so it still counts.
Alas. No. Anyways, getting into the Would You Rathers.
Yes.
For those that are new here, we have Jakey, our third co-host, who, if you're new from the last 2 weeks, I try to split the difference between Jakey and Josh. So we go through 5 Would You Rathers. I pick one left wing, right wing, center, defenseman, goalie, and I try to get them both to pick one guy on each side. So trying to find the line. It's really good to find rest of season value, kind of where we rank these guys, and try to go over some really, not hot topic players, but guys that are kind of like being talked about a little bit more recently. So
yeah,
let's get
the hot
into
topics
it
for the hot topic episode.
Exactly. The famous Hot Topic episode that Josh cooks up. So listen, if you're looking forward to that, you'll have to listen again. But for today, we got the Would You Rathers. Let's start with the center position.
Okay.
I feel like this one, it could be tight or it could not be tight. So those are the two options, yes. But would you rather Brayden Point rest of season, who the biggest buy low for felt like 2 months, or recently healthy Bo Horvat rest of season?
Wow. That's a
Now,
really
I feel
good
like
one.
if you're looking at this, it's just like no brainer. Like, oh, okay, obviously Brayden Point, right? But like, it definitely hasn't been all the Brayden Point throughout the whole year. And I think Horvat has been putting on a clinic this season. So, what do you guys think?
Yeah.
You can go
Okay,
first.
so we normally assess these without face-offs being a factor, right?
Yeah, without face-offs. I mean, that could be. We can also be like, but when face-offs included, my opinion changes or it stays the same or whatnot.
Yeah. So starting off without face-offs, I think I gotta go Point only because I'm so confident in throughout the year Tampa's going to be an elite goal scoring team. He's, anybody who has exposure to Kucherov is just it's like unfair. Like he's so good. It's the same thing. Like it's better than playing with any player in the league except for McKinnon, I would say.
Yeah, but Point has been tied to Kucherov the whole season when he was really bad.
He had some issues, and yes, Josh McDavid, of course, but like he doesn't bring out the guys consistently year over year the best in them the way Kucherov does. That's one thing. But yeah, it's
whose team is Kucherov on?
What?
Whose team is Kucherov on?
Mine. Why?
Oh, okay.
I think he is.
Give him some.
For now, check your phone. You accidentally sent me
This is like all
instead of
fun and
Holloway.
games until he actually sends me back celebrating. Oh my God. Anyways, all right. Yeah. So just because I hate this. So because he's there with Kuch, I'm just gonna go Point on the no face-offs, and then with the face-offs, like this is why this is so good because that could actually be a factor. It's like neck and neck. It's like 50.1 to 49.9, but I think I'm still gonna have to go Point only because I'm confident in him. Actually, you know what? No.
Have you looked at the stats over like the season, the last couple weeks, the last month?
I have. It's just that Point, like we know Point, like year after year has been amazing, but like on the season, obviously it's a whole different story. I mean, he was awful. That's why he was a buy low for so long. But yeah, like if I have Horvat right now on my team and I need like points, which is the case for when you're like that's the most valuable thing to get, I'm probably gonna go Point. Yeah. How about you?
This is a really tough one because I drafted Horvat this year in the 9th round, and he was amazing for me, and then I flipped him in a package for Kucherov. So I only have good things to say about Bo Horvat. So it's interesting because every single non-points category is a massive win for Horvat, right? Shots, huge win for Horvat. Face-off wins, if you count that, huge win. Hits is pretty negligible. Blocks, Horvat's been randomly blocking the past month, so I'll give him, he has a big edge there, but, it'd probably end up being, let's say, negligible. But in any sense of the word, PIMS, you give that to Horvat. Like, literally every single category outside of points goes to Horvat. Then we get into the points, which is the big crux of the matter. And over the season, Horvat's had many more points than Point. But over the past month, Point has, it's so annoying saying points with Point in this, to say it so many times. But Point's had a lot more points in the past month. He started turning around since he came back from injury, and Horvat definitely has slowed down a bit, although he was also injured for a bit. So rest of season, I think Point is going to get more points. Then you look at power play points, and Horvat's been a lot better than Point, even since Point's resurgence, quote unquote, in the past few weeks. His power play points have been awful. But we know Tampa's one of the best power plays. So that means one of two things. Either it means Point is no longer a key part of that power play. Like he's on it, but there's some players who are on the power play and then they just don't ever touch the puck. Or it just means that he has a lot of room for positive regression. I don't think they suddenly phased Point out of being a relevant power play guy on that team. So I would point to positive regression. All of that to say, I think that Point will have a lot more points in power play points than Horvat rest of season. And for that reason, I got to go Point. But I think that if you're looking for a more well-rounded player and you're looking for a safer floor, I would go with Horvat. So overall Point, though.
Yeah,
that was a lot of words.
Tough.
That was a lot of words.
Yes, that was a lot of words. Hopefully everybody was able to catch that with the Wi-Fi cutting in and out. But either way, I think it really raises the question on like, do you think you could trade Horvat for Point right now? Do you think an owner would want to do that?
It's just tough
given the recent
this is
resurgence.
That's it. This is the one point of the season where that wouldn't be a slam dunk for the Point owner. Like any other time in the season, and the Point guy would have been laughing and be like, "Yeah, I'll take Horvat easily." Right now, Horvat has slowed down a bit, and Point has heated up. So I don't know if that gets done. People, if someone's been holding on to Point all year and he finally starts doing well, I doubt they're like, "Okay, now I'm going to get him off my team." No, they're going to be like, "I held him all year while he was terrible because I didn't want to give up the value of what I knew he could do." So now that he's doing it, then. But you never know. It's worth a shot. You can point at season averages and be like, look how much better Horvat is, and people might believe it.
If you're in a face-off wins league, though, I think I am leaning Horvat, though, because the gap there is not just like, it's not like 2 or 3 face-off wins. It's like 5 to 7 face-off wins. So, and I do think like maybe rest of season, Brayden Point is like a 1.1 points per game type of player and like 0.35 power play points. But maybe Horvat is like a 0.9 points per game player and like 0.3 power play points. So, like, that's what he's kind of been doing the whole year. It's been hovering around 0.3 and slightly higher than that. So, maybe the gap there is not as big that I'm taking the win in all the other categories, plus the massive win in face-off wins to kind of, like, edge me there.
Yeah, no, you know what? I'm switching to Horvat also because I just think that, like, I do think Point's going to get more points, but I think the difference is not going to be enough to make up for all the bad cats.
Yeah. And listen, like, he's been on a hot streak the last few weeks, but there's nothing to say that, like, you know, we've seen Horvat be really good for 3 months at this point. So,
yeah.
All right, next one.
I'm still sticking Point, but you guys are making compelling
points. God, well, it's so hard not to say the word point.
Yeah.
I'm going to say this next one, and you guys are going to be like, oh my God, classic Kevin.
Okay, well, yes, Josh Norris versus Connor McDavid.
No, I mean, I want something close. Clear Josh
For
Norris
the viewers,
there.
by the way, Kevin is implying that Norris is so further above McDavid that it's not even close.
Just look at the numbers. I'm kidding, obviously. But I think McDavid has more points in one game than like Josh Norris in like the last 3 years. That's what it feels like at this point.
McDavid has more points in this year than games Norris is probably going to play for the rest of his career.
Yes. I would beer bet that McDavid gets more points than Josh Norris has games played. I mean, that feels like an easy. Maybe double the amount of games that Josh Norris will play. That might be actually a conversation. But this one, it could be, maybe it's closer in my head than it actually is on paper. Maybe for you guys, it's just like a slam dunk one way that I think you guys are leaning. But would you rather rest of season, guys, Pavel Dorofeyev or Brandon Hagel?
Oh my God. Kevin, you're
and
hilarious.
now, just a note, I am the Pavel Dorofeyev owner and Jakey is the Brandon Hagel owner.
Okay. So, first of all, I still think that Protas ends the season with more points than Dorofeyev.
Jakey, we've gotten so many questions in Discord, people being like, can I cut Protas? Like,
really?
Yes. People asking for permission if they can cut Protas.
Was the most recent one in the past 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games where he's got 8 points in his last 4 games?
It was probably before that, but
yes, I would reckon that's the case. Yes, I would assume that is before that. So yeah, I still
no power play points though, but yes,
this is a clear Hagel to me. I know Dorofeyev, he's got the shots, he's got the power play exposure, but to me, like, Hagel has the elite pedigree of being a 90-point guy, and it's like, it looks bad recently. But a huge portion of that was that he was injured, and then he came back and played over 20 minutes a night. Now, this kind of ties into the previous one, so it's good that you put the Bolts back-to-back in this, because if Point is playing with... If it is Point, Hagel, Cooch, wow, flying. But right now, it's the bane of my existence. It's Gage
really
Gonsalves. Yeah, but when Point was hurt, Hagel played with Cooch. I
don't think there's any set lines for that top 6. I think Hagel could bump on and off of being on the same line as Kucherov rest of the season.
You think that could happen?
I don't think there's any set lines. I think it's going to happen. Like, some games he'll be with Kucherov, other games he won't. It's going to be back and forth.
Yeah. No, to me this is a clear Hagel. I think the points difference is gonna be substantial.
Yeah, the way I see it is that points are going to go to Hagel. Shots are pretty equal. Everything else is pretty negligible. Shorties, if your league counts, that goes to Hagel. And then power play points is a huge win for Dorofeyev. But I think the points difference is going to be enough that you still prefer to have Hagel. I think that people, if you didn't have Dorofeyev if you just picked him up, then you won't remember the past month where people are like, can I drop Dorofeyev because he's been so bad? So, it's all fun and games when he's on the up and up, but he's too inconsistent to just crown him the victor against a guy who did what Hagel did last year and gets exposure to Kucherov and that Bolts team. So I do like, the idea of here where you have a guy who is clearly the better player in Hagel, but you have Dorofeyev who has such a massive power play points advantage over him. So you're like, is that enough to counteract it? I don't think it is, but it's definitely an interesting one.
I mean, what do you think is realistically the numbers going forward?
I think Hagel can be 1 to 1.1 points per game. I think Dorofeyev's going to be max 0.8 points per game. And I think almost all those points are going to be power play points.
So Dorofeyev on the season, and we know how bad he was for like a month and a half, right? And then we also know
how good he was at the start of the season.
For sure. But on the season, he's averaging 0.4.
Power play
points, which feels like a safe floor for where we see his power play points are going to hover for rest of season, I think.
I would never say 0.4 is a floor. I think that's a ceiling.
I mean, he's averaging, over the month, he's averaging like close to 0.5.
So if you tell me he's going to finish the season 0.4, I'll be like, yeah, that's realistic. If you tell me his floor is 0.4, I'm like, no way. Because at the end of the season, McDavid and Draisaitl end at like 0.5. If you think Dorofeyev's getting close to as many power play points as those guys, then I don't agree.
Fair.
Yeah, no.
So we know Hagel though is going to be around 0.1 power play points, which is basically nothing because he's not on that power play one. And he never will be. Sad for all of us. Like, he was my signature pick for that reason. I thought they were finally going to wake up and be like, all right, let's just put our best players on power play one. But no matter how many injured guys happen, he just never gets it. But yeah, I think the power play points difference is going to be 0.3 between the two of them, 0.2 maybe, 0.25.
Yeah.
And then I think the points difference is probably going to be that same gap. It feels like 0.25, 0.3. So it's like, do you value the extra points or do you value the power play points? And I think, with how my team and how I'm trying to construct my team, I really think I want to take the power play points. Like, I know Point is going to get 0.3 points more, but the extra 1 or 2 power play points on any given week actually makes a difference. So,
it depends.
And the shots are negligible. If anything, I give the edge to Dorofeyev.
No, but they're negligible. I wouldn't give an edge.
It's negligible, but it's like they're both going to be around 3.
In our league, you got to give the edge to Hagel because we have goals, assists, and points as categories, and power play points, right? But every point is 2 categories. I know you're going to say that every power play point is also 2 categories, but like, he's going to have fewer of those overall. So I just think that at the end of the day, like, the number of points is more important than the number of power play points. But again, some people have league settings where power play points are worth a ridiculous amount, right?
Yep.
So that makes a difference. But in our league and just in general, I'm more comfortable having Hagel because also, like we said a month ago, Dorofeyev was a drop, right? He was putting up straight zeros. So I don't think it's I just think he's going to be inconsistent. There's going to have times where he's like the best player on your team. He'll definitely have certain stretches of weeks where he's better than Hagel, but on the long run, I'd rather have Hagel.
Yeah. And also, like, there will be weeks where he will help you win you power play points. There's no doubt about it. At the same time, there are weeks that Hagel is going to help you win shorthanded points. And that's
but shorthanded points is a category that, like, obviously, like, Hagel is elite at it, but most leagues do not play with shorthanded points.
I know, but it's like Dorofeyev's points come in waves as power play points. Like, there was a time where he was absolutely, like, he wasn't ownable almost. Like, you felt horrible about having him on your team.
Just the fact is that, like, when your entire production relies on the power play, which is pretty much what Dorofeyev does, then you have some games where your team just doesn't draw many power plays, right? You have some games where you play against the number 1 penalty kill in the league. Like, there's just games where you're essentially guaranteed not getting any points.
But I think you guys are also undermining how much of a jump he can take from last season too. And I'm not just saying this because of what he did.
No, I really like
year, and then he's on my roster. Like,
if he wasn't on your team,
points he had last year.
I know, it was like I don't remember, but it was
17.
Yeah.
Guess how many power points he has this year?
20. I don't know.
15.
Okay.
And we're not even at the halfway mark through the season yet. He's already basically made the same amount of power play points that he had last year.
Yeah. No, I'm very high on Dorofeyev. I just think you're aiming too high with Hagel.
Yeah. He's a good player.
Fair. But I'm also putting myself in the shoes of like, okay, if I have him on, like, I'm looking at our league of record. I have Dorofeyev, Jakey has Hagel. When I'm making the numbers against it, like, I do not want to take that power play points L. I just don't. I feel like if I want to make
you're
up
taking
that,
a points W, so it's it's just how your team is constructed.
It's a points W, but I feel like I can stream the points. Like I can just cut my worst defenseman and pick up a guy that's 0.3 better. That instead of getting 0.1, I can get 0.4, and I bridge that gap on the aggregate. Whereas who am I cutting to get 0.3 power play points more? There's nobody.
I mean, all these guys that we were talking about, like the Vancouver guys who suck, they all average like 0.25 power play points. You can pick
Not
them
anymore.
up, and I mean, they should over the season 0.2 to 0.25. Like you can stream anything that you need to if you stream correctly. I think that, like, I think you're a bit biased because you have Dorofeyev and he's been hot lately.
For sure.
I think if you asked the same question a few weeks ago, you would have been laughing. You're like, obviously, I would take anyone over Dorofeyev. So
yeah.
All I'd say, like, we're all high on him. Like, I would have bought low on him. I tried to buy low on him, but you scooped it out of me ahead of me. But it's just, I think Hagel's aiming too high.
Fair enough. That's why we're having the conversation.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to number 3. Another guy on my team. I kind of went hard on this.
Okay.
But would you rather, rest of season, Sam Reinhart, the GOAT, the best player in the NHL, the best trade I've ever pulled off,
yeah,
or Jason Robertson, rest of season?
That's a good one.
Yep.
Because Robertson slowed down and Reinhart's just heating up. You've got Matthew Tkachuk
and Matthew Tkachuk
back.
has yet to come back.
Yeah, so like obviously people are just assuming that that's going to make him better, can't make him worse. For me, I'm going Reinhart. I think that earlier in the season, Reinhart was crazy underperforming and Robertson was crazy overperforming. I think both of them are kind of getting back to where you would expect them to be. I think rest of season, points are probably going to be comparable. I don't think it's going to be this gap that has been the past month where Reinhart's getting 3 points every game and Robertson's like under a point per game. But I think it's going to be comparable enough. But Reinhart has the edge. Somehow Reinhart's better at power play points than Robertson, which is nuts because Dallas's power play has been insane. Shorties is a big one if your league counts that, obviously. And then shots Robertson has the edge, but I trust Reinhart's points and power play points more.
Yeah, I think like Josh said, the only thing that Robertson I would say confidently is going to be better at is shots. The power play it could be equal, and then the rest I'm giving the edge to Reinhart, like across the board. So
here's one where shorties is a big thing, though.
Yeah, I mean that makes.
I'm taking away the shorties though. When you're actually evaluating, like, I think if we're counting shorties, it's for sure Reinhart because given everything else is so close. But take shorties out of the equation. Because to me it's like, okay, what do you expect Jason Robertson to average rest of season? Like at a certain point, he was like 2 points per game. Josh flipped him for who was it? You have so many first round picks. I forget who you did for what.
It was Matthews.
But there you go. Who's now hurt? So and on Jakey's team. But no, I think we kind of said that our consensus is that Jason Robertson, we could see him averaging like 1.1 points per game rest of season. Like that's kind of where his final numbers are going to be. He was so hot to start the year that maybe he's 0.8, 0.9 through stretches that it averages out to 1.1. He's going to get like 3 shots a game, which is great. Like far cry from like the 5 he was averaging at a certain point when we told you guys to sell high. And the power play points, probably around 0.4, probably around 3.35. I think Reinhart's going to be in the same ballpark. But where do you expect Reinhart's points to end at? And that's the big question. Like, do you think it's going to be more than 1.1? Because I feel like that's the crux of it. Like,
it's the cherry on top for me, the shorthanded points. But realistically, Reinhart to me is just going to be better across the board. I mean, the shots are nice, but I just like I think Reinhart is just an amazing player. With Tkachuk coming back, it's only going to make him better. It's not going to take away from it. Not to mention the fact that like I was speaking to Josh about this because he was thinking about a Florida oriented trade, and he was saying how like I mean with Barkov not there, does it basically affect Tkachuk's value? And I think not really. Like Barkov's awesome. Obviously, he's a better forward than Bennett or Lundell, but like Bennett's been an absolute monster. And like these guys can succeed on their own, so it'll just make the matchups even easier. for Reinhart when Tkachuk comes back. So I'm going Reinhart here. It's close though. It's definitely a worthwhile discussion, but the difference was not split on this one, sadly.
It was
But it's
close,
definitely
though.
close.
Yeah, it is close.
All right, let's go over defensemen. This one, it might be a slam dunk one way. I think this, I was kind of, I mean, I've said that, and they've all been close thus far.
Yeah.
But this one, I really want to focus on the playoff picture. I got inspiration by somebody in the Discord asked if they can do a trade like this, and I think a 2-for-2 is very feasible. But would you do Rasmus Dahlin or Adam Fox rest of season?
For me, I'm going Dahlin.
Me too.
I think that I know that Fox has those 2 extra games in the playoffs, and Fox should get more points. Dahlin's going to get more everything else. And the thing is that like Buffalo actually has a pretty solid playoff schedule themselves, because in addition to being a 3-3-4, their week, like their middle week, week 22, they have them and the Rangers are actually the only teams that have don't play on the Tuesday. So that's a pretty big, that's essentially kind of like adding an extra game to that schedule by allowing you to not bench someone else. So I don't think the playoff difference is that big. So I'm just going on the player who's better. And it's got to be Dahlin for me.
But what is it about Dahlin that makes him better to you?
Okay, so firstly, last year, Buffalo...
Look at them.
Buffalo was bad, and Dahlin did better last year. And this year, yes, we're halfway through the season, and Fox, who's been injured for a while, has better
He's
averages.
About to come back. As we record this, like,
yeah,
they're saying it's day-to-day. Like,
me.
Yeah. The shot, you have no bad luck ever. Okay, if Matthews is hurt for a while, there is no more complaining for any time ever.
Matthews being hurt doesn't help my team at all.
Yes, but it does. You got Celebrini for a nothing guy. Apparently, this is absurd. But Dahlin
he hasn't even missed a game. There hasn't been any announcement or anything. Anyways,
it's tragic. Dahlin power play points is going to be similar, and I also think his PIMs are very obviously better. Shots, hits, and then the blocks could be around the same. So across the board, the banger cats, I'm going to Dahlin, and then the points are going to be a slight edge to Fox over the 3-week span in the playoffs with the 2 extra games. That's probably going to like figure to like 1 to 2 more points a week, though. I don't really think it's going to be like a huge game changer. So with that, I would just simply give it to Dahlin.
Yeah, I think it's like definitely like I get what you're saying, Kevin, where Dahlin's backcuts are not what people kind of project them to be year in and year out. He seems to be transitioning to more of a points-focused defenseman as opposed to Banger's one who also gets points. But the fact is that shots he still has a huge edge. Hits, it's pretty negligible at this point, but I would still give him the edge if it's something, but I won't count it. And blocks, Fox actually has more this season, but I would count that as negligible as well, like to counteract the hit. So it's really the shots is a big advantage. PIMs, if your league counts, that is a big advantage. And then the power play points, you kind of in your head, you expect, oh, Fox is going to be way better at power play points, but no, they're pretty much the same there. And then points wise, you just expect, oh, Fox is going to be way better at points, but they're actually pretty similar. Fox definitely has the edge there, but Rangers kind of suck this year. They keep getting shut out left and right. And I just don't, Buffalo's on an 8-game win streak right now. And I think that they will slow down, obviously, but I think they're a lot closer to the Rangers in standings and how the team is than you might expect. So for all those reasons, I'd give Fox a slight edge at points, but I think Dahlin has a big edge at shots and a big edge at PIMs. And then if either one of them was going to hit and block in any given week, I would give the edge to Dahlin. So for those reasons, I'm going with him.
I just want to put it out there also that I had a dream that Adam Fox was averaging 3 blocks a game. And I don't know, this happened last night, and I was just like, then they gave me inspiration to make this Would You Rather.
I love that, Jake. You missed it last episode. I woke up right before we recorded, and I told Kevin I had a dream that Dougie Hamilton got traded to St. Louis. So we're just saying our dreams now, I guess, is another thing we're doing on the pod.
And also, we're dreaming about fantasy hockey. So, yeah. But I think it comes down to Dahlin will average an extra shot a game. I think Fox will average 0.2 points per game more. And I do give Fox the edge in power play points. I think it can be like a 0.05 to 0.10 power play points more. I would not be shocked.
Dahlin has more so far this season, like more. He's averaging.
I know, but
Fox
also, like, don't forget that like he's missed a lot of time, and through that time is when the Rangers were actually good. Like, look at his recent.
There was a time that the Rangers were actually good this year. I must have missed that.
No, but there was definitely points in time where like
no, I know
the Rangers have actually been solid. Like, look, if you look at his game log, I think he had like 12 points in his last 10 games or something like that. It was like ridiculous.
Yeah.
But come playoff time, like honestly, I think I just prefer to have Fox on my roster. Give me the extra points from the defenseman position. Give me the extra power play points from the defenseman position, and I can make up for that extra shot somewhere else. I just want the extra games from a guy that's already getting more points. Like, I don't think the back cats are enough of a difference to me that like it sways me in either direction. Like, I'm not getting better at hits. I'm not getting better at blocks. Yeah, the shot is nice, but I'd much rather take points than an extra shot, you know? And especially because the guy that's giving you the extra shot has less games. So,
yeah.
This is one of those trades that I feel like if you're looking at the playoffs, like, and you have Dahlin on your roster, you can do Dahlin for and plus something else for like Fox plus something else and just set yourself up for the playoffs in a better way where you're giving like Dahlin better, quote unquote, better than Fox and getting another upgrade on the side, or you're happy with that situation for your playoffs come that
I do
time.
think it's close enough that if you can do a tooth for two where you're also getting an upgrade on the second one, even if it's a small upgrade, then yeah, I would do that trade. But like if I had to choose one or the other, I'm still going Dahlin, but I get the playoff schedule is better for Fox, so I could see that.
That's my take.
Yeah, I'm sticking with Dahlin. So, okay, let's go to the last one.
All right, last one. This might be short and sweet, but talking goalies now. Would you rather the best goalie in the NHL, the guy who handles the workload?
I knew it.
Brayden Bussi of the Carolina Hurricanes, starter for the Carolina Hurricanes, Brayden Bussi, or Carter Hart of the Vegas Golden Knights rest of season?
Wow, I really like that one.
I fear I may be setting one of you up for a joke, but I had a dream.
Oh God, he's been dreaming about the Bussi.
Won the Vezina.
No, you didn't, Jakey. You just made that up on the spot.
You didn't know we were doing a dream segment.
So yeah, it never mind.
And this is the day after that Carter Hart just got lit up against Minnesota. So listen, that's definitely the taste is still in our mouths. As opposed to, okay.
As opposed to what?
I didn't want to finish my sentence.
Okay. Back to hockey. I think.
Wait, we were always talking about hockey.
Yes, always. All right. So to me, this is actually a clear edge to. Yeah, I mean, Bussi's just been way too good. Also, I think it's pronounced Bussi, but let's just...
Wait, is it?
Yeah, but I think it is, but I refuse.
Brandon, if you're listening to this, let us know in the YouTube comments.
Yeah, seriously.
Like, when you get gifted a Bussi, you don't, pronounce it correctly.
Brayden Bussi of the Carolina Hurricanes.
Yeah, I have to choose him because he's been incredible. The outs we're talking about taking away from him being elite have to do with them trading for another goalie to
or just him slowing down
be a tandem. And yes, him slowing down, but look, like Carolina has not won every game they've played this season, but the vast majority of the games that he's started, he's won. And Kochetkov is a good goalie. So, like, when he was playing, he was doing okay, but still not the winning percentages Bussi had. And Anderson as well was just horrible. So, yes, he can slow down. He can have a bad game here and there, but he's already done enough to earn the starting spot. And yes, if they trade for a guy to make it a tandem, it's bad, but it's still, to me, better than a guy who missed the past like year and a half not playing in the NHL. And Vegas is great, but to me, Bussi's just done enough to show me, okay, yeah, this is like a legit, amazing pickup for fantasy for the rest of the year. But I also, yes, of course, if he gets traded, it's just that to me is like the chances of all that happening. Like, yeah, it sucks, but it could happen, but it's not enough to dissuade me from being very enthusiastic about Bussi.
All right, so we've got a Bussi enthusiast, Jakey, and I am going with my boy, Brayden Bussi. Hard B's for both. Alliteration king of the Bussi world. Yeah, no, I think that, look, we're talking about, like Jakey said, we're talking about all these hypotheticals that I think are going to happen, but we're like, Carolina's going to trade for a goalie, and then that goalie's going to be maybe a tandem, and then it's going to be some challenge for Bussi, but he's been killing it, and whatever. A lot of things have to go wrong for him to not be the starter of Carolina rest of the season, right? Whereas with Carter Hart, there's literally a man named Adin Hill standing there with a steel chair ready to come in at any moment, and look, we
Not
know
at
that there's
any
been
moment. I think
at any moment. Look what happened with Mark
away.
Stone, right? These guys, that's how Vegas does things. They don't announce anything about injured guys. Oh yeah, he doesn't exist. He's pretty much dead. And then all of a sudden, oh, he's on the ice and he's playing tonight, So I do think that Adin Hill is going to come back at some point. I wouldn't be surprised if he's back before the Olympics. And I think that at the very least, that's going to be a tandem. And if not, Hill should be the starter over Hart. So for all that reason, I'm happier with Bussi on my team.
But if they're both in a tandem, who would you rather have?
Bussi. I mean, if Bussi, I'd rather have Bussi. Honestly, like I know Vegas is like, oh, it's Vegas, the goalie for Vegas, but it's also the goalie for Carolina, right? They're equally good teams. You possibly giving the edge to Carolina. So if they're both in tandems, and Bussi is for some reason better, just a sick goalie.
I think
right?
Vegas is a better team than Carolina.
I think it's close enough that that it shouldn't.
Vegas hasn't played with Hagel for like the last 2 weeks either.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm still going Bussi, even if they're both tandems, but that's also a big if, right? I think Bussi has a much clearer chance at getting more starts rest of the season than Carter Hart.
Okay, so where's the Bussi line then? Because we spoke about it earlier in the podcast. We spoke about it now. Like, where's? Let me give you some names.
I feel like I'd want to turn him into one of these like top 10, top 15 type of goalies. Like, because I still do think he's a sell high, but like you got to sell him high, right? So if you do like Bussi plus someone for one of these top 10 goalies, top 15 goalies, then I'm happy. Like I really liked the Logan Thompson one. I thought that was a great target.
Okay, but let me give you some names. You tell me. Only speak if you rather have Bussi over them. Okay. Scott Wedgwood.
I think so. It's close. It's very close there. I don't know. Like,
is it because you think he plays a lot more games? Is that why?
Yeah, it's just like it's like right now. I mean, Blackwood's been amazing when he starts, right? So Blackwood's also super good.
To me, I'd rather have both Colorado goalies over Bussi. Would you rather Wallstead?
That's a good one.
I would rather Bussi, and I have Wallstead.
I'm certain that Bussi's getting more starts rest of the season than Wallstead. I'm also certain that Wallstead's are going to be higher quality. So I think I would go with Bussi though, just for the quantity.
Okay, you'd rather Gus? I'm assuming. Obviously, that's an easy one.
Yeah.
Shesterkin easy, Ottinger easy, Vasilevsky easy. Let's get the easy ones out of the way. Bobrovsky.
I'd rather Bobrovsky.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna go Bussi, and the reason is that Bobrovsky has been playing a lot more than I'd expect him to play, and I think that like as the year kind of goes on, he's gonna play less and less because he's old.
I don't know. I don't think they're a lock for a playoff spot, so they have to play whoever's gonna give them the chance to win games.
That's fair, but it's like that's really neck and neck.
So how many names is that? Like, I feel like that's around 10 names. Like then, and then is Bussi just the guy right after that? Like, you'd rather Bussi over Spencer Knight. You'd rather him over.
Yeah.
I mean, Logan Thompson, I think, is probably close. Like, who you prefer?
For me, it's not close. I'd rather Thompson.
Really? Okay. For you, it's not close at all.
Yeah.
It's close, but I'm gonna take Thompson.
What's the difference between Thompson and Bobrovsky, Jakey? Then.
I'll take Bob also.
Yeah, I take Bob. I think Florida is becoming Florida that just won back-to-back Stanley Cups, and you're getting the starting goalie there. And even though the percentages are not as good right now, like they're getting better as a team, and they're still winning all their games.
I just really think he's going to play less. Like I know what you're saying.
Yeah, but then we just talked about Bussi being in a tandem at the end of the season.
Yeah, but Bussi's in a tandem if they trade for somebody else. But Bobrovsky's going to play less because he's 1,000 years old and they want to win the Stanley Cup again.
I mean, their backup is like the worst backup they've had in years. Like Tarasov is not the Spencer Knights or the Alex Lyons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we got to we got to start.
What about Wolf, Vejmelka?
Wolf's a decent
over Wolf.
one. Oh, really?
I'd rather Calgary's awful.
Bussi. I'd rather Bussi than Wolf.
I think Calgary's really bad. At least with Utah, like So Wolves a better goalie than Vejmelka, but at least Utah, I have some hope they can be a good team rest of the season. Calgary's going to be a bottom 3 team.
Yeah, no, look, the simple truth here is that he was in a tandem. There were 3 goalies, and he was still
a throuple.
A throuple, and he was by far the best guy, and now he's the clear starter. Like, this is unbelievably exciting. We'll have a way better picture in 2 weeks from now, but to me, like, yeah, Bussi's like on the top in the top 10 to 15. Like,
I'm just having flashbacks to when I picked up Askarov, and he was like the best goalie in the league for like a month, and
who was the one who was splitting with Ned. Talk you down.
I mean, I did try to trade Askarov at the time.
No,
like,
I know you did.
I was doing my due diligence to try to get off of him. But then, like, after a month and they slowed down, like, same thing happens with Spencer and Knight, where, like, when everything is happening it's just, like, these guys are so good, it's hard to project the fall. But then the fall happens, and you're like...
Look, I think it's our responsibility as each other's friends and as podcast hosts for, you know, our viewers to kind of talk you off when you're getting hyped on your own player, you know, and you're like, this is never going to end. The ride's going to go forever. That's what sell high is, right? Sell high never feels good. You're always selling the guy who's performing way more. But at the end of the day, like, there's a reason, you know, it's very rare that someone goes on a Hamburglar run, you know, like, unless you think Bussi's going to keep doing this all the way, like, you know, like that, like, insane run.
It's not impossible, but
it's not impossible. But like, if you can turn him into more of a sure thing, like a Bob or a Thompson, like, for me, it's a no brainer.
I think those are the perfect names. Bob, Thompson, Kemper. I feel like all those guys are attainable right now for Bussi.
Really Kemper, I think you're aiming too high. I mean,
but I think it's because of the injury. I think it's because of the injury.
Yeah, I mean, you can try. You can do Bussi plus for Kemper.
The difference between the other 2 guys that you mentioned is that Carolina is a juggernaut, and they have been. They've been a Stanley Cup contending team for years. And Chicago,
I wouldn't call them a juggernaut, though.
They're a playoff.
They're really good at making it to the conference
team.
Finals and not winning a single game.
Yeah, exactly.
And then getting swept.
That's it. But then it's irrelevant for us. It's just about the season. So I believe in them a lot more. But yeah, I mean, Askarov and Knight are going to be really amazing goalies. But I think that this is a really good year to own Bussi. I wouldn't sell him yet, but I would be open-minded to selling him.
I'd be selling him right now. I think right now his value's at peak. Before you give him more runway for him to prove he's not the guy. People are assuming he is the guy right now because he's been playing well, and then Kochetkov just got hurt. So it's like, okay, now.
Yeah, there's nothing he can do at this point.
His value can't get better.
That's exactly. Like, there's nothing he can do to give him more value because he's already been playing unreal and he's already the clear starter. Like, it can only go down from here. So if you're planning on selling him, now's got to be the time.
All right. Let's see what happens. I'm gonna hold for a little while longer, but I
classic. You're holding your sell high guys until they become no longer sell highs, and then being like, "Dang, I should have traded them."
I hear you.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's wrap it up.
Thank you to everybody for listening to our Week 13 news and updates episode. This was a long one. Thank you for.
It was your first episode back.
Yes, thanks for having me back to all the fans and for keep mentioning my name so people won't forget me. And I am here to stay. So there is really a third host to Banger Management, the Fantasy Hockey Podcast. And yeah, very, very exciting. It's going to be a great 2026. So let's keep up the good work, y'all. Follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. Subscribe on YouTube, and all the socials are in the podcast description. And be sure to join the Discord community. A lot of fun stuff there where people ask Kevin for permission to trade players
or drop players.
Or drop. That's the biggest one. Is the drop? It's like, Kevin, can I
I've
drop
been
this
there, guys.
This is Kevin.
I'm always looking for permission to drop somebody.
Yeah.
I'm just picturing me like as Cillian Murphy from In Dark Knight Rises. You know, where he's like
exactly.
When Bane has control over everything, and he's like running this little like.
That's exactly what I was picturing. Like, was it like death or exile? Yeah, and he's
exactly.
like exile. No, he's like death, and they're like, okay, death by exile.
All right, Ernie, take it away.
Ba-ba-da-bow-bow, Banger Management, Fantasy Hockey Podcast. Woo, woo, woo. That's actually crazy you clocked that Dark Knight. Like, that's exactly what I was thinking. Like, literally exactly.